Infinity Nikki has been the talk of the gacha community lately. Even the content creators who never played it and weren't interested in this type of game made videos on it, which would be any developer's dream if the game wasn't dragged as insanely predatory, incompetent slop. They messed up more than Whoever's ever did. Because with all the bad stuff, Whoever's at least know how to make their updates stable and playable. For gacha content creators, Infold is just a gift that keeps on giving. For their loyal community though, not so much. So I want to talk about it too, because I actually played the damn game and had some fun in the beginning. Although it's very different from the stuff that I usually play. I even wanted to make a video praising it, but didn't, because I didn't feel like I belong in the cozy game community. Actually, there were some things that I really disliked even before the update 1.5. There were quite a few of them. Even with 120 currency per pull, the odds of getting the full 5-star outfit weren't great, because you have to gather outfits piece by piece, and there is no possibility of getting the whole thing early. And the PT doesn't carry over to the next banner, because it's a completely different outfit. So pulling on a banner without completing the outfit actually reduces your chances of getting the next one. And while you can wear separate pieces, you don't get the ability, unless you get the full outfit. And unless you complete it, you cannot recolor it, even if you get the recolor from the banner. And with the release of the dyeing system, you are also more limited in the selection of colors for dyeing your outfit. So because of all of this, being a free-to-play or low spender in this game felt worse than in other top gachas. The second thing that I disliked is bullshit currencies. On release, this game had temporary crystals, gacha currency that expired after one patch. Then they got rid of it after community complained. And they also added special pools that are only for 4-star banners that release on the second half of every patch. Why? To confuse the customers with more currencies, of course. The third thing that I disliked before 1.5 is boring events. The event mini-games were very samey. It's basically a jumping challenge in different packaging. Honestly, Genshin was more imaginative with their event minigames. They at least tried to have different mechanics for each one, and some of them were fun. And Infinity Nikki is a super casual game they could do better in minigame department. And they tried to do more different types of puzzles with the Chinese New Year event, but it kinda went nowhere. The fourth concerning thing that I noticed was their eagerness to paywall exploration, which in a game that centers on exploration pretty heavily is really bad. In version 1.2 they introduced a premium paid bicycle that could be summoned anywhere. It was a huge upgrade from the free bicycles that you can get from the rentals on the map, because there were just a few of them and not in every location, so most of the time you ended up not using these anyway. So this premium item from shop was actually a difference between using a mount and barely ever using a mount. Genshin at least waited a couple of years before leaning heavily into exploration creep. Nikki did it in the third patch from release. They later released an outfit that allows you to summon a mount, that I got because walking sucks. And in 1.5 there is a water walking outfit. That would be pretty convenient in the new location. So the trend will probably continue, which is not great. Infold also showed insatiable, unreasonable greed and absolute disrespect towards the community when they sneakily changed the rewards for wishlisting the game on Steam, when the community hit the goal too fast. From 10 pulls to 2. They were so afraid of going bankrupt if they gave out those 8 extra crystals. Guys, they were giving us their last belongings with this one. Of course, they issued a compensation after player backlash, but the fact that they thought nobody would notice kinda shows what they think of their players. They considered them freaking dumb. And finally, I was taken aback by the delusional takes from the company representatives themselves. There was an official interview posted on the game's website where the devs talked about how they don't rely on FOMO mechanics in their game. Gacha devs, praising themselves for not relying on FOMO mechanics. The irony and the audacity. When the gacha itself is a FOMO mechanic, because it's time limited, like get it now or you don't know when it comes back. Say hello to Shenhe and her non-existent rewards. Limited offers in the shop with those fake discounts are FOMO mechanic. Dailies that give pull currency are a FOMO mechanic. Daily login packs are a FOMO mechanic. All gacha games rely on FOMO mechanics heavily as their marketing strategy. And never before have I seen gacha devs patting themselves on the back for not using FOMO. This alone told me that Infold might be the most delusional gacha company out there, and they can do some dumb shit in their game. And I didn't have to wait long for this to happen. All hell broke loose when 1.5 dropped. Confusing intro, game-breaking bugs, and insatiable greed, all neatly packed in one patch that was also actively promoted as something huge and amazing. It seems like they wanted to just obliterate their game. like it was a purposeful sabotage. But I'm sure that it was just some genius in the upper management who thought that he knows the IRL infinite money glitch. Yeah guys, let's push out the multiplayer features quickly without testing, also add some dying system and monetize the heck out of it, and then add 2 premium outfits with increased PT because they are so premium and so much better than the rest, players will gladly pull for them. And yeah, don't forget to reduce the endgame resets. That worked out splendidly, so I'm just going to list most of the bullshit that happened in one single version. So, in one patch, Infold broke the damn game, introducing tons of bugs, including players getting softlock in the starting sequence, unable to play the game. Scrapped the perfectly functional intro of the game and made it an idiotic retcon of the story, with confusing multiverse bullshit. Also, new intro is just an ad for 2 limited 5-star banner outfits that will be gone after this version. Old players also had to go through the tutorial again and learn how to freaking jump. Thanks devs, I just forgot how to press the spacebar. Increased the hard PT for outfits by adding useless bullshit socks that you can't even see in each 5-star outfit. Yay, this premium dress becomes so much more premium with a pair of tights. Thank you, Infold. Added a top-up event on top, and later the infamous $50 bathtub that you can buy just for $10. Remember, there is no FOMO in this game, only amazing limited offers. They added a multiplayer feature that is super clunky and a multiplayer map that is absolutely empty, but hey, you can ride a seesaw with your friends there. Yeah, all 0 of them. Or just become a deer. Isn't that peak multiplayer gameplay? They added a detailed dyeing feature for clothes, where you have a total of 12 lame colors unlocked by default. And you have to unlock colors for every piece separately, not for outfit, for every single piece. Oh, and it also uses a limited currency that you can buy in the in-game shop for real monies. Or painstakingly farm in events. Sounds like a lot of fun, right? And yeah, also don't forget that the most popular and the best colors are locked behind the last outfit ascension usually. They punished players for their own mistakes and took away the excess non-gacha currency some people were able to farm, without even knowing that it was a bug, because god forbid they can unlock a free-to-play outfit a day earlier than the rest. And the devs absolutely could not give some extra currency to the rest of the players because, well, it would destroy the damn game, of course. This action allegedly broke their database and caused weird currency fluctuations for many players, including paid currencies appearing and disappearing at random. What can be more fun than having negative balance? They added a daily challenge with prizes that some players can only do in the middle of the night because it becomes active for a couple of hours at 8 PM server time. And time zones fucking exist. Maybe Infold didn't know about it. They tried to hush criticism on their official social media. They banned the word boycott in their official Discord server, and banned the word girlcode too, and they also deleted any critical posts from their official subreddit. That sounds like great communication with the community, right? They released an absolute train wreck of an apology that boiled down to 11 pieces per outfit stay, fuck you. But we will communicate better if we decide to increase the number of pieces further. Just shut up and pull the damn socks, babe. And 90% of this apology was just yapping, like they collabed with HSR writers for this one. After this, they stayed silent for around 3 weeks, posting promotion materials on Twitter, failing to acknowledge the players' concerns. They allegedly botted reviews on Steam, which totally helped them to fix the score, yeah? They also, for the longest time, stalled on compensating people for daily login rewards they missed because of the devs' incompetence. Because players should have just logged in on another device. The option of not having another device did not exist. All of this is too much for one damn patch, and this is how they completely obliterated any community goodwill they had, and destroyed their reputation. But hey, they finally responded and apologized again, kind of. Their apology was again too lengthy, too full of pointless yapping, and it seems like they just tried to bury the actual message under layers upon layers of word slop. The details of the patch extension should have been in a separate information posts, and the whole apologies should have been dedicated to them recognizing their failures and stating the plans for changes. Instead, they posted a wall of text with little lukewarm apologies sprinkled in, and the message that boils down to, "We're gonna fix the bugs and integrate the new intro better, and the threads of your union outfit will come out at some point. Now piss off and take these 8 pulls for your trouble, and send your complaints to this email instead of bitching on social media." And they noticeably didn't address any of the predatory practices that players were unhappy with. I wonder why. Players have been left on ice for 3 weeks, and this is all they get? And then the response is just quickly buried under promotional posts. Also, quite recently, they disabled all social functions for about a week. I totally believe this was for maintenance purposes. And they made another information post acknowledging feedback, but only partially, and not acknowledging a bunch of stuff that people wanted them to respond to. And they also announced some useless features. Having Nikki yap more when exploring is totally what players were asking for, thanks. And it might seem like a small nitpick, but I just don't understand why dedicate so much attention to something this inconsequential when you had a whole failed patch and a bunch of unresolved issues in your game. This unnecessary flavor stuff can fucking wait, and I also find it quite annoying when my characters yap too much during exploration, because all of their voice lines are the same and they are repeated 100 times over, so there should be an option to disable this stuff at least. Players want some reassurance that the game will stop getting more predatory at least. But it won't, let's face the truth. Honestly, the Infinity Nikki situation will go down in gacha history as the quickest and most shameless masks-off moment for a gacha game. We're a big company with quite a bit of experience. To show such a degree of incompetence and straight-up malice is baffling. I think there are three main reasons for this train wreck. The first one is the lack of solid vision for the game's future, hence the idiotic retcon of the story 5 patches after release. This is not a move that the writers confident in their story would ever make. The second reason is the lack of preparedness. This update is obviously rushed and pushed out of the gate without proper testing, which makes me suspect that they didn't have much material prepared. They don't have enough content in store to gradually put out, which is pretty bad for a live service game with a monthly update cycle, and a couple of empty updates before 1.5 strengthen my suspicion. For example, 1.4 was emptier than the worst Genshin filler patch. I'm not kidding. And the fact that there hasn't been any main story continuation since 1.0, except for the retcon that ruined everything, is quite baffling too. Filler patches are continuing with some very bullshit this time, and the stories seem to be getting more and more juvenile. You know, cozy game doesn't automatically mean a game made for toddlers, for goodness sake. And finally, the third reason is the financial geniuses in the upper management, who wanted to earn all the money in the world by screwing over the players and going into the hardcore milking mode over the course of one patch. And they really hoped that the amazing quality of their rushed mess of an update would keep players distracted from the company's little grabby hands reaching into their pockets. Well, they should have thought twice. Infold messed up so much that supporting the game and wailing in it feels bad now. It feels like you don't have any self-respect and you're just bowing down to someone who treats you like dirt. Infold just thought they could get away with anything, since there is no adequate competition. Barely anyone makes gacha games catered to women specifically, and gachas catered to women that are not otome games are basically non-existent. And trust me, there are plenty of women who don't like otome games and don't want to play Love and Deep Space. Most gachas either aim for general audience, still with heavy bias towards waifu enjoyers, or just cater to men, even if they started out as more general gachas. So Infold thought that because of this, their players would tolerate any sort of bullshit and stay in the game and keep on playing and paying. They thought they could farm this audience just like their loyal fans who play their other older games, with 15 to 19-piece outfits and far more predatory monetization. But players didn't put up with their bullshit because they actually loved the game and had hope for it. They hoped it would treat them well, that it would be fair and reasonable with monetization, because players are tired of being nickeled and dimed. You might say that these expectations are too high for a gacha, but honestly, lowering expectations does no good for anyone. It only allows bad actors to get away with progressively more and more bullshit. So I'm glad that Infinity Nikki community united in calling out the bad practices and demanding change from the devs. And besides, there is no comparable alternative to Infinity Nikki even outside gacha space, especially in terms of graphics and detailed customization for outfits. So it's not like disgruntled players can just go play a game that's similar but not a gacha. There are plenty of cozy games, of course, but the ones that have dress-up, open-world exploration, platforming, and some story content all at once are very hard to come by. So what can Infold do now? Quite a few things actually. They could take full accountability, retcon their dumb fucking story retcon, give some sort of roadmap for improvement, address the predatory practices and make systems like dying more accessible, give guaranteed PT regardless of the number of outfit pieces, give out an appropriate compensation for what was basically a failed patch and a direct insult to players. But are they gonna do it? Do I believe this game will change for the better? Not really. I believe they will fix the bugs, unless they add even more new ones. But as for other problems, decisions, I don't have much hope. I don't think they have any plans of going back on the pity increase and the predatory dying system. It seems like they don't treat the community seriously, and the laughable size of compensation still shows that they are stingy as hell, even when they unironically messed up big time. It wasn't just a little bug. It was a whole failed update. 8 pools given out for daily login is not adequate compensation for this shit show. So I don't think they really took criticism to heart. But it doesn't mean that the players shouldn't take a stand. If players quit for good in response to doubling down on predatory practices, it will still be a win of sorts, since fewer people will be pushed towards bad financial decisions and taken advantage of. And honestly, I think the predatory nature of Infinity Nikki kind of goes against the message of cozy games that are supposed to make you feel nice and cozy, you know. And to think that all of this happened over the course of one patch, it's just crazy. So this is the sorry state Infinity Nikki is in right now. Currently, I don't feel like supporting this game anymore, with the amount of bullshit this company threw at their players in just one patch. I don't trust them not to continue doing the same stuff. So this is what I wanted to say on this situation. I'm sorry for disappearing for a couple of months. I hope to be back soon and posting regularly. So take care, spend responsibly, and have fun in your favorite games. Goodbye.